What's going on, guys? It's Naz here, and in today's video I'm going to be starting a new series called Will It Flip. Now for this series we are going to be buying shoes for a little bit on the cheaper side that look like they may be in really bad condition, cleaning them up the best that we can, and selling them for a bigger profit. The concept of this series is just to show you guys how you could take a shoe that might be a little beat to somebody else and be able to make money off of that shoe itself. Now this series will fund itself, so if you guys see a short period of time where there's not like a shoe or anything like that, it's because most of the time I'm going to be selling the shoes after they are cleaned by me. So that does take a little bit of time. Sometimes they can't sell like immediately like other shoes and things like that, but I will try to keep this series as frequent as possible for you guys. Now in today's video I do have a shoe that I talked about in my pickup haul video. If you guys haven't watched that, go watch that. It should be up by the time I post this. And the shoe will actually be the Jordan 10 Bobcat. Now I do have the shoe in hand, and it wasn't in the condition that I already inspected. So I originally paid $53 for the shoe, and since it wasn't in how the seller had described it in a way, I did end up getting a good amount of that money back. So even though I did originally pay $53, this shoe only cost us $23. Now right there, since I did get a good amount of that money back, this was a really good investment. Not only did I get to keep the shoes, but they also came in a replacement box, which I'm going to show you guys how you can manage even with a replacement box for a pair of shoes. Without further ado, let's get into the shoes. Now here we have the shoes. Now this is just a replacement box for the shoes. As you can see, it does actually say Jordan Spizike, and the person kind of crossed it out to say Jordan Bobcat 10. So it was a bit of a plus that in this deal I could still get a replacement box, which for this series I'm definitely going to try to recommend others to get that. With me, I don't really care about the box because I'm mostly worried about making a profit off of the shoes. I know that having a box and not having a box can affect how you're able to sell the shoes, because some sellers will be kind of hesitant of that, but this one did come with a box, and inside we actually have the shoes. Now these are the Jordan 10 Bobcats. They are in not the best condition. They're about a 7.5 out of 10. The reason that I did end up getting some of the money back is because there is some sole separation and stuff like that on the shoes, but I can make this work just to make a little bit more profit, because at the end of the day this is a 5+ year old shoe. Now the reason that I did end up getting a good amount of the money back on these is because of the soles. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but there is a bit of fading and stuff on the soles, and most shoes like the Jordan 10 don't usually have that issue, which means that the previous owner had to be doing some kind of probably he should have had some black forces for how these bottoms look. So what I'm going to be doing before we post these shoes for sale is I'm actually going to be cleaning the shoe. Now the shoe is not in that bad of shape, but I am going to be trying to freshen it up as much as I can, as well as clean the sock liner. When I clean shoes like this that I'm going to be posting up for sale, I do try to also like disinfect them, just so the next person that buys them knows that they're buying a clean and fresh used sneaker. So without further ado, I'm probably going to do a time lapse for the cleaning, just because the cleaning can take the longest amount of time. And when you guys come back, I will be about to explain how to actually post these shoes up for sale.
We got way too much in common. Way too in common. Drama, gotta silence the violence. Gotta link up on my black skin, the brown ones. Yeah, you can't check. Magical flying love. I got to stand on. Beat me up. I'm about to sign off. Them a need to take time off.
the shoes are dry, I want to talk about the next part, which would be posting the shoes for sale. What I would originally do for this is post the shoes to Depop or GRAILED, but in order to do this, you want to make sure that you make, or not really make, but take amazing photos of the shoes. The way that you present the product is important because it also shows how the audience will perceive your product. So it's always important, especially when it comes to shoes and things like that. Sorry, I went to go look at the shoes, they're drying and they fell. But it's always important to look at how you take your photos. For example, if you're posting to somewhere like Depop or GRAILED, you want to make sure that you post all angles, at least of both shoes. That includes the outside, the inside, top view, inside view, bottom of the shoes, all the above. Because you're going to get that one person that's going to ask you a question about what part of the shoe has the most damage and things like that. For example, for these shoes, I would take photos of the outside and the inside, and since they do have a little bit of separation, I do want to make sure that I say that the shoes are separating a little bit and that they also have a little bit of damage on the outsole. That way, you're not tricking the buyer into buying a really good pair of shoes, and the person buying them already knows what's wrong with them already. Now, fortunately enough, I was able to actually sell these shoes as soon as I got them in. I sent them to a seller that's not really like a big boutique or anything like that, just like a smaller seller that usually sells online, and I was actually able to sell these shoes for $50. Now, the reason I say that I sold them for $50 is because we have to remember that I initially paid $23 for the shoe, which means that I made a 54% profit, or $27, off of this one pair of shoes. Now, the shipping is already covered and things like that for the shoes, so we're basically just making our $23 back, and on top of that making an extra $27. So that is fortunate enough. Another way that you could also sell shoes like this after you've already acquired them and cleaned them and things like that is you can also include them in bulk deals. What I mean by bulk deals is if you have someone trying to buy shoes from you in bulk, or you're trying to do like a trade or something like that, pick up like a cheap pair of shoes, clean them up if you know that you can actually bring them back to an even better condition, and you could use those actually towards getting a pair of shoes that you really want. You don't always have to pay that one big price or the one retail price on the pair of shoes when you can buy multiple cheaper shoes and also make a little bit of profit on top of that. So that way you're able to buy the shoes you want and you made a little bit of money on top. So that's a convenient way that you can use this method as far as buying cheaper shoes and selling them for a bit of higher price. Now this is only episode 1 of this series, so I will be going over this again in the next episode, which will probably be filmed shortly. I'm not exactly when like I'm going to film the next one, only because it is kind of a challenge on finding very, very solid shoes for really cheap prices. But trust me, I'm doing the groundwork for this series. And I already have a bunch of stuff saved on Depop and GRAILED. It's also really hard because I know I kind of want to pick up some of these shoes for myself, but I have to separate it for the series itself. Now, that is all for episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I also wanted to add in that I am filming this pretty late at night. The only reason for that is because I did just close the deal, so that's why I look kind of crazy and stuff like that in most of like the footage, because the deal just closed and I will be shipping these shoes out to the person that bought them tomorrow. So that is why this one seems kind of rushed. No, not really rushed, but it seems like I don't have enough time or I've looked like all over the place. But I still hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.